Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sorry for the inactivity the past week or so on the channel. I was actually on vacation, so I was, not as involved, obviously, on my channel as I usually am. But I still do, see the comments you guys leave and appreciate. I still check those out, try to like and respond when I can. And of course, even though I was on vacation, yes, I was not completely off the grid or disconnected. So yes, I was following, the stuff that was coming out about Zack Snyder's Justice League, Ray Fisher, Black Adam, all that stuff. I was definitely keeping up with that as well. But, I just wasn't making videos about it. So again, thanks for all the support on my channel. If you are new, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you know when I post a video. So even though this stuff has been out for a week or so, I do want to make a video just to get my thoughts on it, comment on it, and if you're not aware, just bring people up to speed. So first things first, Zack Snyder's Justice League is reportedly going to start filming some additional photography coming up soon in October. So there have been a lot of what it seems misconceptions about this since this story broke, if indeed it is true, which I don't see why it wouldn't be. And there have also been some issues regarding the Hollywood Reporter article that broke the story. So let's cover that. All right, first of all, the Hollywood Reporter article that broke the story about most of the main cast members or Justice League members returning for additional photography in October for about a 1 to 2 week thing. There were a lot of people had problems with the article because a lot of it was focused on the fact of that Ray Fisher has, brought out all these allegations and complaints against people at Warner Brothers during the reshoots of Justice League. We all know what's going on with that, as far as, the mistreatment that Ray Fisher has alleged against people like John Berg, Joss Whedon especially, and Jeff Johns, and the investigation, and we've seen all that stuff going on recently, of course. And the problem that people had with the article was that it said, additional photography is going to be going on despite these, allegations against people at Warner Brothers. Well, those things don't really go together because, first of all, Warner Brothers is no longer in charge of Justice League. Well, the theatrical version, okay, that's done with. Since Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be released on HBO Max, it is under that umbrella. So, yes, it's under Warner Media, which is not Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is under Warner Media. So, it's no longer in a Warner Brothers property. Zack Snyder's Justice League is not being run, I guess you could say, by Warner Brothers. They sold it to HBO Max, and they have taken over. So the allegations and stuff against Warner Brothers don't have anything to do with what's happening now with Zack Snyder's Justice League at HBO Max. Those are two separate things. So they don't really need to be mentioned in the same article, much less focusing on what's happening with those allegations and that investigation. Yeah, so two separate things. There may be some people who don't realize that Warner Brothers is separate from HBO Max, and because we did get a theatrical version of Justice League, yes, through Warner Brothers. That's not what's happening with Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's coming out through HBO Max. They are paying to finish it. They paid to get the property from Warner Brothers. It's theirs now. So that's one thing. Also, a lot of people are describing it as reshoots. This is not reshoots, most likely. It is most likely additional photography. Additional, meaning stuff that was not even shot at all back when Zack Snyder shot his Justice League movie, way back when. So I don't understand why people are having such a problem understanding this. Now, us in the fandom, this whole Snyder Cut movement, most people, I think, get the idea that it's why additional photography is necessary. It's necessary because now we're getting 4 hours. So people, some people are trying to say, well, there wasn't a Snyder Cut that was done then, like they were trying to say. Obviously, they're not going to be able to create a whole new 4 hours of footage before it comes out in 2021. I mean, we already had a teaser. We've seen stuff Zack has shared stuff for the past couple of years now on his Vero account from his movie, most of which we saw in the teaser. So obviously he shot a lot of footage way back when he shot his movie. Now, obviously what we're getting is more than just the 214. The 214 is what Zack was compromising for to release in theaters. Now, if we remember what Zack said on one of his, when he replied to one of a fan's question on Vero about compromising, he said 2016, 17, whatever, all compromise. 2021, no compromise. So that says a lot because, even for the 214 that was in the vault, and when he, yes, it exists, it's real, whatever. That was a major compromise on Zack's part because the studio still did not let him do everything that he wanted to do. They wouldn't let him shoot in a black suit for Superman. They wouldn't let him shoot the scary stuff as he described as SnyderCon with Darkseid. And what happened with what he wanted to do with Lois. He meant the clips from SnyderCon that happened quite a while back before we knew any of this was going to happen, and before I believe Zack knew it was going to happen as well. They are very telling in what we could expect possibly to see in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He describes the big scary stuff that Warner Brothers didn't want him to do as being mainly Darkseid boom tubing into the Batcave to kill Lois, causing Superman to succumb to the anti-life equation and turn evil, basically, or into a tyrant, as we see in the nightmare scene. After BVS came out, they were like, no, we're not doing this crazy stuff because too many people reacted negatively to the darkness, and so we're not doing that. They wouldn't even let him shoot that. He described that him and Chris Terrio had a finished script for Justice League before BVS came out. Then when it came out, they saw the reaction from a lot of people. No, you got to rewrite some of this stuff. Take some of this stuff out. We're not doing it. That's what the studio said. And he describes that they were also feeling insecure about it because they were like, wow, maybe this is too crazy. But now that we know we're getting 4 hours and that it's no compromise, and that we also know that all of this stuff that Zack Snyder wanted to do originally is being restored, such as the original Steppenwolf design, changing some of the designs back for parademons, some of them, not all of them. The coloring, restoring his color grade that he prefers to use. The score, other things that were cut from the, now that we know we're getting his 100% original true vision, yes, he's going to need additional photography because there were things that the studio at Warner Brothers did not let him shoot at all. And stuff like he said he didn't get to finish shooting, such as the Martian Manhunter scene. He didn't get to shoot the Harry Lennox part of it. He described that. So who knows what else he had originally wanted to do that the studio wouldn't even let him do at Warner Brothers, that he can do now because HBO Max is allowing him to fulfill his true original vision. So yes, the 214, that's part of it, but there was so much more that he did. There was other things he didn't get to do at all. So that's where I think people are getting some people are getting confused. Well, I thought there was a cut. I thought it was ready. I thought they just needed to finish visual effects, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's part of it. But we're not only getting the finished version of the 214. We're getting his original vision. The 214 was not just his original vision. That was compromise that he was willing to make for the studio to release in theaters, which obviously that didn't happen. So yeah, that's why it's different than reshoots. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna do reshoots as well, because he didn't get to do the reshoots he wanted to do for Justice League. But now that he's doing his original vision for the movie, I don't know if he has stuff that he needs to reshoot. But the stuff going on in October is most likely additional photography, stuff he did not get to shoot at all. And I think it's likely that, I mean, the article is saying Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Henry Cavill. Now, people are saying that since it's a supposedly $70 million budget to do this additional photography, well, that's a lot. It wasn't finished, blah, blah, blah. I just went over that. This is not just reshoots. And most likely the stuff that he's shooting, the new stuff, is going to require probably a lot of CGI, and all that stuff costs money, and who knows if, I don't know. I mean, that's not a lot compared to, obviously it's not like, that's not a lot for a lot of studios to spend on, you know, shooting. It sounds like a lot to us normal people, but for studios, it's, you know, for what HBO Max is getting in return, it's not a lot. They paid for, he has most of what he shot already. So now back to Henry Cavill. There was a Collider exclusive in which, in an interview, Henry Cavill said that he is not involved in any reshoots or additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League. That was during an interview promoting Enola Holmes on Netflix. I quite enjoyed that movie, by the way. In which they asked him about that, and he said no. Now, the interview came out right in the midst of the report coming out about the additional photography that said Henry Cavill would be there. However, the interview was not conducted at that time. It was just released during that time. It was conducted supposedly a couple weeks ago, before the story about the additional photography came out. So in that interview, in that question, his answer to that question, he says, I don't know how this will potentially change as things continue, since we're getting a longer movie now. Yes, the majority of the stuff was shot way back when, but now we're getting more footage. So it's likely that most of the main cast members would need to return for additional photography. So that interview's kind of been, it's kind of being taken out of context because of the timing of the interview. At that time, he might not have been aware that they were going to all get together for additional photography in October. But we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, the main thing also is that Zack Snyder basically told us a long time ago that they would be doing additional photography. On the slate that he gave as a prize to the competition winner, the fan who won the poster competition, in February, the 214, that whole competition for Zack Snyder Justice League posters. Obviously, before we knew we were going to get the movie, but we were kind of starting to assume it was going to happen because of what Zack Snyder was sharing. At that time, the prize was a movie slate. I can't remember all of it off the top of my head, but it's, basically saying that whoever has this is allowed to come on set for any additional photography for the motion picture Zack Snyder's Justice League. That obviously, yes, he knew at that time that there was most likely going to be additional photography that was going to take place at some point for the movie. What else do people need to know? Like I said, people who are not completely, it's a lot to take in for everything that's happened with Zack Snyder's Justice League and everything, so I get it. But for people in the fandom, this makes sense. For people that are not 100% aware of everything, I could see how it's kind of confusing. But for just people who want to be haters and just, oh, see, it wasn't done. Oh, it didn't exist. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously, they're not shooting 4 hours before next year. People haven't been filming most of the year for anything. So no, it's obviously was, yeah, there's only a little bit that needs to be finished or additionally shot. So that's that. Now, also we have Hawkman, who has been cast in Black Adam. We found out at DC Fandom that Black Adam will appear in the movie. Sorry, kids are getting wild over there. Hawkman will be in the movie. And so now we have an official casting confirmation. Aldous Hodge will play Hawkman. Pretty cool. So, yeah. More Black Adam news coming out as that gets closer to production. Still can't wait to find out more casting stuff for The Flash. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over all of that stuff that came out just from all these misconceptions, misunderstandings that are coming out just because of Zack Snyder's Justice League doing additional photography. So anyway, hope I covered that well. Sorry it turned into a long video, but like I said, I was on vacation and I wanted to cover everything upon getting back. So thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time.